The pieces showcased in this presentation illustrate the passion and brilliance of artists worldwide. The diverse expressive mediums include a painting, photograph, political satire, sculpture, mural, and magazine cover. I find it amazing that people can interpret other people, places, and events in so many different ways. I think that it is very important for everyone to have a voice and to use it, and many people use artwork as their means of expression. The timeline of the artists featured spans nearly a century and a half. We begin in the year 1873 and conclude in present day in 2017. The first piece that we will examine is the Volga Barge Haulers by Repin, 1873. The artist was part of the Society for Traveling Exhibitions, a group dedicated to representing contemporary life in Russia. The exhibitions began in St. Petersburg, and the artist traveled to at least 4 cities per year, including Moscow. After becoming a member of the United Nations in 1945, the Soviet Union abstained on the vote for the United Declaration of Human Rights in 1948. One of many connections to human rights in the UDHR is found in Article 4, and it has another connection in Article 23. This painting depicts the inhumane conditions that many Russian workers were subjected to, as well as a representation of their servitude. These men were obviously working in unfavorable conditions, strapped together like a pack of mules. On March 9, 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. led a civil rights march from Montgomery, Alabama to Selma, Alabama. He is pictured with other activists, including Miss Rosa Parks, Dr. and Mrs. Abernathy, and his wife, Coretta Scott King. After becoming a member of the United Nations in 1945, the United States voted in favor of the UDHR in 1948. The connections to human rights in the UDHR include insights from Article 7 as well as Article 28. Martin Luther King Jr. worked diligently to secure equal rights for African Americans. He believed they should be treated with the same respect as Caucasians or any other people. Many African Americans in the South were not granted the right to vote until the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Our next piece is entitled Rise of the Reactionary Right by Cedar, originally drawn in 1974 and published by Pastor David Berg. The men standing at the top of the piece are meant to depict, quote, Wall Street, big business, and the government that supports the rich, end quote. Drawn over 40 years ago, this artwork, unfortunately, still reflects the views of many Americans today. There are several parallels between human rights and the UDHR found in Article 23 as well as Article 25. This drawing represents the tremendous gap between the rich and the powerful in the United States and the average American. We continue to see pay gaps between men and women, and the top 1% of the United States population just keeps getting richer. We must find a way to better distribute wealth in America. Gay Liberation, a sculpture resurrected by George Siegel in 1980, can be found in Christopher Park in New York City, across the street from the Stonewall Inn. The monument commemorates events that took place at the Stonewall Inn, which is often called the birthplace of the modern gay rights movement. Gay rights continue to be at the forefront of American discussion. Same-sex couples were just granted the right to marry in 2015. There are multiple connections to human rights in the UDHR, including in Article 1 as well as Article 28. For decades, the GLBTQ community has not had equal rights. Many people still believe that being gay is a choice, and continue to speak out against gay rights. Perhaps the most intriguing piece in this presentation is the West Bank Wall by Banksy, originally completed in 2005. I really wanted to include this piece due to the relevance of our recent discussions on Israel and Palestine. The mural is resurrected on the wall dividing Israel and Palestine, neither of which are members of the United Nations. There are several correlations to human rights in the UDHR, including insights from Article 2 as well as Article 9. As we have recently discussed, many Palestinians are being forced or exiled out of Israel because they do not practice the same religion or share the same political opinions. The final piece we will review is a recent magazine cover for The New Yorker entitled Liberty's Flame Out by Tomac, and this was just published a few short weeks ago in 2017. This image simply depicts the world we live in today. The Statue of Liberty was resurrected in 1886, and her torch has long been associated with welcoming people to the United States. Meant to be a political statement regarding the current United States immigration policies, the Statue of Liberty is depicted with her light out. There are many correlations to human rights in the UDHR, including Article 13, Article 14, Article 18, among others. The recent executive order by President Trump has shed a negative light on the Muslim community and restricted access to the United States from 7 different countries. People that were living in the United States have been denied readmission, and refugees are no longer able to seek asylum.